Hey friends! Before we start the show, I wanted to quickly mention a way that you can get downloadable Eat Your Spanish worksheets and downloads of our Spanish learning songs while at the same time supporting our program. The answer is by joining our Patreon familia at www.patreon.com/eatyourspanish. For as little as $2 per month, you can receive bonus learning content specific to each episode. Plus, 100% of the money earned goes towards keeping our program on the air. I know we've said it before, but it's true. As independent artists, the success of our show remains in the hands of our supporters. So if you're having fun learning with us and want to support our work and receive additional learning material, please visit www.patreon.com/eatyourspanish or click on the link in every episode description. Thanks, amigos! Hey friends! Before we start the show, we want to give a quick shout out to a few members of our Patreon family.
That's right! We want to send a big hola to our amigos Foster and Maddie, their mama Brittany, and their papa Chris. I heard from a very reliable source that Foster and Maddie have listened to the episode where Mr. Mouse says, "let her rip," over 10 times. I actually laugh every time I hear that episode too. Mr. Mouse has super contagious laughter, and whenever he laughs really hard, I always found myself laughing too. Thank you all so much for your love and support and for being such great listeners.
We also want to give a shout out to Caroline and Elias, their mama Emily, their perros Mickey and Mia, and their cuye Bova, which means their guinea pig Bova, who I've actually met because Caroline is one of my Spanish students. Hola, Caroline! So in all the shuffle of moving from one place to another, we got a little behind on our gifts, but just the other day I saw Mrs. Elephant and Mr. Mouse reading an Amelia Bedelia book into the microphone. So I think things might be getting back on track, and you should have some stories before too long.
Thanks to all of our Patreon families for your support. It really means the world to us. Now on with the show. Hello friends.
Hola amigos.
How are you?
¿Cómo están?
I'm so happy.
Estoy feliz.
To be with you.
A estar contigo.
Are you hungry?
¿Tienen hambre?
To sing and play.
A cantar y jugar.
'Cause on our menu.
Porque en el menú
is Spanish today. Everybody sing.
Eat your Spanish, eat your Spanish, eat your Spanish with us today.
Did you say spinach? No, I said Spanish. Okay.
Eat your Spanish with us today. Eat your Spanish!
With Evan
and Vanessa.
Hola amigos, me llamo Evan. My name's Evan.
Hola amigos, y yo me llamo Vanessa, and my name's Vanessa. Welcome to the review episode for episode 2 of season 2, where we learned how to say the names of a whole new bunch of family members.
Today we'll be reviewing those words, and then we've got a fun game to play with you.
Then at the very end of the episode, we'll give one special listener the chance to ask us a question about how to say a word or phrase in Spanish. But first, it's time for a little review of our words from last week.
I hope you're ready to have some fun. Here we go.
Spanish review time!
All right, now it's time to take a look back at our lesson from last week. Evan, rewind the tape.
So, Vanessa, you named a lot of family members before. How do you say all of those words in Spanish?
Great question, Ev. I know 8 words seems like a lot, but because they are so similar to each other, I think we can do it all with just a little bit of practice. To say aunt and uncle, you say tía and tío. To say female cousin, you say prima. And to say male cousin, you say primo. Then for step-parents, you would say madrastra for stepmom and padrastro for stepdad. And then last but not least, stepsister is hermanastra and stepbrother is hermanastro. Are you all ready? Let's start off with aunt and uncle. For uncle, we say tío. So repeat after me. Tío,
Tío,
tío.
tío,
And now for aunt, we say tía. So repeat after me. Tía,
tía,
tía.
tía.
Great work, amigos. Now for male cousin, in Spanish we say primo. So repeat after me. Primo,
Primo,
primo.
primo,
And now for female cousin, we say prima. So repeat after me. Prima,
prima,
prima.
prima.
Excelente, amigos.
Yeah, great job, friends. Dos down, dos to go.
For stepmom and stepdad, the words are slightly different from each other. For stepdad, we say padrastro, and for stepmom, we say madrastra. So let's repeat them together. We'll start with stepdad. So in Spanish, we say padrastro. Repeat after me. Padrastro,
Padrastro,
padrastro.
padrastro.
And for stepmom, we say madrastra. So repeat after me. Madrastra,
Madrastra,
madrastra.
madrastra.
Great work, amigos! Last but not least, we've got the words for stepbrother and stepsister. For stepbrother, we say hermanastro. So repeat after me. Hermanastro,
Hermanastro,
hermanastro.
hermanastro.
And our last word for today is for stepsister, which is hermanastra. So repeat after me. Hermanastra,
Hermanastra,
hermanastra.
hermanastra.
Great review, everybody. Now I hope you're ready to have some fun because it's time to play
A Spanish game.
Spanish game time.
Okay, amigos, now that we've reviewed the words from our last episode, it's time to use them to play a game we played back in Season 1 called Answering the Telephone. Hey, Vanessa, since we played this game so long ago, do you think you could remind me and all of our amigos how to play?
Sure thing. In this game, we're going to need a phone. Do you all remember how we made it before? We take our right or left hand, whichever you want, and we'll make a phone by sticking out our thumb and our pinky and closing our other fingers. Now we'll hold it up to our heads with our thumb by our ear and our pinky by our mouth. You can talk into the end of your pinky and pretend to listen into your thumb. Let's try it out and make sure all of your phones are still working. Oh, let's pick up our phones and hold them up to our heads. Great job, they still work. Now that we've picked it up, we'll hear a family member introduce themselves. It'll be our job to greet that family member together with their name in Spanish. Let's listen closely and see who's on the line.
Hello, it's me, your aunt.
All right, so we know that the Spanish word for aunt is tía. So on the count of 3, we'll say together, Hola, tía. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Hola, tía!
Nice work, amigos. Are you ready to play the game now? Here we go. All right, everyone, let's pick up our phones and listen closely to who's on the other line.
Hello, it's your uncle.
All right, so what do we say to the uncle in the family? Let's say it together on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Hola, tío!
Great work. Let's hang up our phones and get ready for round 3. Here we go.
Hello, it's us, your cousins Bob.
And Abigail, how are you?
Oh, wow, 2 cousins in 1. Let's first say hello to Bob and then Abigail right after. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3.
Hola, primo! Hola, prima!
Muy bien, amigos. Time to hang up our phones and on we go to round 4.
Hello, it's me, your stepdad.
All right, friends, what do we say to our stepdad? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Hola, padrastro.
Muy bien. Let's hang up our phones. Time for round 5.
Hello, sweet angel. It's me, your stepmom.
All right, friends, what do we say to the stepmom? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Hola, madrastra.
Great work, amigos. One more round. And this one's going to be a double round. So let's put our phones down and see if it rings one more time.
Hello, it's me, your stepbrother Oliver.
I'm here too. It's your stepsister, Bethany.
All right, amigos. What do we say to the stepbrother and stepsister in our family? On 3, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Hola, hermanastro. Hola, hermanastra.
Muy bien. We did it, amigos. We answered the phone for 8 family members, 8 of them.
Wow, great job, friends. I love playing Spanish games with you all.
Me too. Well, now it's almost time to go. But before we do, we're going to give one of our special listeners the chance to ask a question about how to say a word or phrase in Spanish. Evan, who is this week's special listener?
This week's special listener is none other than August. August, what is your question?
Hi, Evan and Vanessa. I'm wondering how to say cake in Spanish.
Hola, August. That's a great question.
Yeah, nice one, August. For those of you who don't know, August is another one of my virtual Spanish students, as well as a member of our Patreon family. It's so great to hear from you on the podcast, August, and especially with such a delicious question. The word for cake in Spanish is pastel. Can you all repeat it after me? Pastel.
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 Muy bien, amigos. Now, how many of our listeners like to eat pastel? Raise your hands if you're a pastel lover.
I don't know, Vanessa, but I have a feeling that everybody listening right now is raising their hands.
I think you're right, Evan, and it's probably because there are so many kinds of pastel. There's birthday cake, which is pastel de cumpleaños. There's coffee cake, which is pastel de café. Carrot cake, which is pastel de zanahoria. The list goes on and on. And for the most part, if you want to say a specific kind of cake in Spanish, you would say pastel de, and then you would say the type of cake it would be. So if we wanted to say apple cake, an apple in Spanish is...
Ooh, I know this. It's from our Frutas episode in season 1. Is it manzana?
That's right, Evan, muy bien. So how would we say apple cake in Spanish? Can you guess, amigos? If you said pastel de manzana, you got it. Great work.
Hey, Vanessa, what if I wanted to make a cheesecake for Mr. Mouse? How would I say that?
Ooh, I bet Mr. Mouse would love that. Do you all remember how to say cheese in Spanish? If you said queso, you got it. So if cheese in Spanish is queso, then cheesecake in Spanish would be...
Pastel de queso?
That's it. Good job, amigos. I think we've had enough cake for one episode. I don't want us all to get tummy aches. Thanks so much for your question, August, and I'm looking forward to our next lesson together.
Hasta luego, August. Thanks for the question. If any of you listeners out there ever want us to answer one of your questions, just visit us on eatyourspanishpodcast.com and you can send us in your question. And if you record your question on one of your parents' phones and send it to us, then you can have the chance of hearing your own voice on one of our podcasts. Well, that sound means it's time for us to say goodbye.
Thanks for joining us today for this special review episode of Eat Your Spanish. We hope you all are having fun with us so far in Season 2. We've got so many more exciting songs and stories and games to share with you. But for now, are you all ready to sing our goodbye song with us? Excelente! Here we go. Adiós, mi buen amigo.
Goodbye, my good friend.
Hasta luego.
See you later. See you later, my good friend. Adios, amigos. Goodbye, friends.
Hasta luego. See you later. Thanks for listening to the Eat Your Spanish podcast. You can support our podcast by visiting patreon.com/eatyourspanish or by subscribing to it and leaving a review on iTunes. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, or on the web at eatyourspanishpodcast.com. Thanks for listening. Adios!